Hi everybody, this is Linda and let's talk houseplants. Well, today we're going to do a show on begonias and on propagating begonias. And you might think that they are difficult to propagate from the sound of it, but it's so simple. I couldn't believe how simple it was. And I'm going to show you the given way everybody does, and then I'm going to show you a quick way that I learned on YouTube. You can go on YouTube and learn anything, can't you? Well, first we're going to look at the begonias that we have. The polka dot begonia. Jamie, can you give me the polka dot begonia? Now the polka dot begonia is an old staple that grandmas have had for years. Back in my day, back in the early 70s when I started doing house plants, we didn't have this wide variety of plants and of begonias. And this one was there. And the beefsteak begonia, every grandma had that one. They handed it down from generation to generation, as did they do this one as well. So what we're going to do is, what's this? I accidentally broke the tip off of one of these stems here, and so I rooted it. It was so simple, and I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, this is what I did about 2-3 weeks ago. Wait a minute. This is the section I broke off, and I had a big leaf up here at the top. But can you see the root here?
Let me see if I can get close enough. Right. And it's getting a bit blurry getting this close, but it's that little white stem.
All right. There are a bunch of roots down underneath the soil, too. I started out rooting it in water, and I waited 2 weeks, and I said, this is slow. I'm too impatient. So when I wanted to cut that big leaf off and make some cuttings, I went ahead and put the stem in a cup of soil as well. Now, just stick your stem with nodes right there down in the soil so it can root. See, that root is coming out of a node right there? Well, down in the soil are other nodes, and the roots coming out of them. Now, these are what's left to the big leaf. And what I did was I cut the veins. I cut, let's see. Jamie, come up here. I can't see for the light. Let's see. Here we go. See these veins? You don't want the stem. You can cut the stem, but cut out the vein, the big stem. And then each one of these veins can give you a new plant. You can cut them and plant them into the soil like I've done here. Now, the reason I know that they're still alive is because they haven't shriveled up and turned black. This has been at least 2 to 3 weeks. Now, that means that there's probably some roots down in there, but I'm not going to pull these out to find out. I just know because they aren't shriveled up. Now, there's another way you can do this also, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. Let me get, where's my tray? Oh. All right. All right, Jamie, you can take the polka dot begonia back and hand me the regal minuet.
You,
No, the red one, Regal Minuet.
you say this like I know what these are.
All right, as you remember, this one here was my first begonia that the Lord gave me, actually. And you can see how gorgeous it is. Now, you see these leaves get damaged sometimes, moving them around. Maybe when you bought them, they had damaged leaves. But what we're going to do, we're going to take this damaged leaf. Lights, please.
Oh, you're missing. Go ahead.
We're going to take this damaged leaf, if I can find a...
Oh, the cord.
All right. Now we're going to cut off the stem. Now we're going to cut around where the stem was. All right. Now, you see, all of these veins are now accessible. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a little place. Not very, you don't want to bury the leaf. You just want to get a little bit of dirt on those openings. Now we've already wet the soil, so it's good to wet it first and then do this. Now in about, I don't know, couple of months maybe less, you're gonna have a bunch of leaves come out, a bunch. These, you'll get one leaf come up. This, you've already got a stem started, so we won't even talk about that. But this is going to be a bunch of leaves because each one of those veins will give you a new plant. Now you want to be sure and put them in a greenhouse type of effect. If you've got a clear plastic container, then you can put it in that. And if not, you can put it in a plastic bag. I'll do the rest later. Okay, I'll do the rest later. All right. Now, these two, a friend of mine gave me for my birthday. She bought me 4 plants. These two have already arrived. They arrived this afternoon, and they're drooping really bad because of their trip. And it will take a few days for them to get well. But this one is fireworks. Look at the different colors on the back side and on the front side. Shine the light on it, son.
It already is on it.
See how the white is fluorescent? And now this one is Persian swirl. This one's a little more worse for the wear. It didn't like its trip very well, but this is what happens when you order online. They go into shock. Sometimes they'll come out of it, sometimes they won't. If you lose a lot of leaves, don't worry about it, because you see all of these new ones here. Here's a new one. That's doing real good. There's some new ones down there. They're doing good. So even if I lost all of these established leaves, those new ones will keep the plant going. This one's got a whole bunch of leaves. This one's doing real good. Got this one right here. There's a lot of leaves there. So even if I lose every one of the established leaves, these new ones will do fine. The plant will keep going. So thank you for my gorgeous plants. I love them. I love them. Now, how do you take care of a begonia? Well, they're not real picky about light if they don't have a lot of of different colors in their leaves. But if you don't want the colors to fade, then give it bright light but not direct sun. And it likes to have, your normal nice and moist soil, but let it dry out and then rewater it and then feed it about once every 2 weeks or a month. Now in the wintertime, some of these begonias, they're all kinds of begonias, and they're all different in the way that they live, but some begonias will die back in the winter. Don't throw your plant away thinking that you killed it. It's just gone dormant. Just water it about once every couple of weeks, and in the spring it'll start coming back. There are tuber begonias. There are just all kinds of begonias. Some that are outside in your flower beds, they don't like to come in the house. And the ones in the house, they'll go outside if you've got lots of shade, because they are very delicate, easy to burn. But these begonias will brighten up a room because of their fantastic colors. You got underneath the leaf, you've got colors. On top, you've got colors. You got some that are fluorescent, like the whites in these. They're just breathtaking. So they're not hard to keep. Some people just have a natural knack at it. And I remember old people back in my day, back in 1970, they had the beefsteak begonia and the polka dot begonia. And those are about the most popular one back in my day, because we didn't have all of these cultivars back then. But they had these begonias in dirt from outside, and the dirt was almost as hard as a rock, and sitting in front of a sunny window, and these plants were gargantuans. And they would cut off a piece and give it to a family member, and they would raise one just like it. So, if they can live through that, except that, these cultivars, they are much more temperamental because they are cultivars. But those originals, like the beefsteak begonias, they can take pretty much anything you dish out. So I guess that's all I had for you in begonias. They make a beautiful display in your living room if you want to shock your guests. Put a regal minuet in your living room on the coffee table and watch how they go, oh my God, that's the most beautiful plant I've ever seen. Yes, they will. So, they just give them plenty of bright light. This one sits about 2 feet, 1.5 feet from the window. And I have that sheer curtain on the window so that they don't get burnt. But they get bright light and they get the sun, but not the harsh rays because of that curtain. This loves it in that spot. It's sitting next to my monitor, and underneath where it's sitting is a speaker, so it's getting that vibration, that the stimulation that they like, and they're getting the light. This thing has just when I got it, it wasn't doing much better than this because it was going through shock coming home. So now it just looks wonderful. Oh, and there is something I wanted to show y'all. I just remembered. Shine your light on here, Jamie. I can't see. Is there a yeah, right here. Is that it? No, that ain't it. Ah, here it is. These look like they're going to be a different plant. But if you look at this one, it's starting to get its pink. So when I saw this, I said, what? Am I getting a different kind of plant? And then I noticed this one So don't get excited thinking you've got 2 plants, because you don't. It's just that it takes a while for them to get their coloration going. So there you have it. I hope this will help you on your propagating. There are lots of different ways of propagating. You got leaf cutting, you got stem cutting. So for this type of begonia, then you got the tuber begonia. That's a whole different ball game. So we're talking about just this kind of begonia, which has hundreds of variations of just breathtaking. So my friends that got me these, she said, I'm going to start buying plants too, like you do. And my other friend said, I'm buying plants like you do. I think I started something, which is wonderful, because remember, these plants, they will clean your air. There were a lot of them, like the snake plant, the Dieffenbachia, the dumb cane of the mother-in-law tongue, and a bunch of other plants will take the pollutants out of the air. So it's good for you to do that, because we got so much garbage in our air. It's always good to get some clean air and some good oxygen. So yeah, buy you some plants, and they make you happy. I don't have a baby, and I don't have a pet. These are my pets. These are my babies. I love my plants. So I hope that you all enjoyed this show. It was quick because it was so easy. I told you, it's just so easy. I didn't have to take all day to tell you about it. So we'll see you next week. I think we're going to be doing prayer plants next week. That'd be nice, huh? So we might even say a prayer too. All right. Y'all have a great weekend, and I'll see you next weekend. Bye-bye.